Hello guys, welcome back. We're in a bit of a sort of same setup but different angle. We're doing a bit of a weird video podcast thing.
Yeah.
So I thought, I got James on doing some videos, and I thought, let's try a podcast, see how it does.
I mean, I don't think either of us are particularly... I certainly think with the size of channels we have at the moment, we wouldn't get enough listeners on a regular podcast, and we don't want to burn out and get demotivated with it. With us. So this is probably just a one-off, us having a bit of fun.
It won't be going on anything apart from YouTube, but it's more just to see how we feel, because if we get a following, we've said we want to do one in the future.
So we think it'd be, because
but we
us talking is just fun.
We just want to check that it works, see how we get on.
See what happens.
So I've got some topics there, you don't know what they are.
No.
I've got some topics.
Little James Skinner interview here.
I'm just going to talk through them. So I want to know, so you did YouTube, didn't you, before sort of this year?
Yes.
Why did you start it in the first... Like, that's not... Why would you do that? But no, why did you... So what year were you in when you started it?
Well, I have actually had quite a few channels.
Have you?
So I think I started off with my digital camera on... I used to have like a bunk bed.
Okay.
With just me sleeping.
Nice.
And I used to balance it on the top step, my digital camera on the top step. And it would literally, like, I didn't even know how to edit, so it would literally start with me pressing it, and would end with me pressing it, and it was just me talking about whatever I wanted to talk about.
Okay, so there was no sort of theme, it was just sort of...
No. Probably about...
So was that a different channel? Was that not Nerdy?
No, I've had...
Has this been deleted? Or 4? They all been deleted? Oh, that's a shame. That'd be a good video.
I've tried to find them, but
that'd be such a good video if you were trying to.
It would, but and then I did Civilization 2 tips.
Wow.
Which was basically I was a bit into gaming channels at that point. I'm not anymore. I can't be honest. But I was kind of into gaming channels. Yeah. The only game I could play was Civilization 2 tips. There was a bit of editing involved here because I had to screen record and stuff.
What did you used to edit?
I've used Windows Movie Maker for a long time.
People make fun of it, but it's easy. It's simple. You just
as long as you don't want overlays or zooms,
it's free.
It's fine.
And it's free if you don't want that. If you want them, then I think it's about £10.
Yeah. And
you get it. It's not like a monthly thing. Like a lot of if you want Adobe After Effects, that's like £20 a month. Like, absolutely not. But a £10 just one-off payment, perfect for Pro.
And neither of those channels got any views.
Okay.
As in, I think I refreshed them about 20 times.
Well, it just never changed, or.
And they got views from me. I never got any external views from them. Then I kind of made most similar to my content now on I kind of did like a Skinner Top 10s. My surname's Skinner, if you don't know. So I did. There was a channel called Skinner Top 10s where I would like literally picture of a poster, lasted for about 6 seconds. I did like I think one of them I actually did re-upload onto my current channel, which was called Movie Talk at that stage.
Oh, I remember Movie Talk.
So it's like if you search up in my early like top 10 MCU films, that isn't me talking. That's just like 10 and like a picture poster of Iron Man 3 turns up with like the Avengers theme over it for about half a minute.
That got claimed, I assume.
Yeah, I think so. And then and that was when I moved into. I said it was like a house, but I like moved into my current content.
Yeah.
Ish, because there has been 2 phases of my channel in that for about 2 years on and off, I'd say between year 9 and year 10 in an English school, so probably about...
Just for context, we would be starting uni this year,
yes.
Just so they know how long ago that sort of was.
So we're probably talking 14 to 16 here. I was making mainly... I would edit together, usually because I was quite lazy, I just pretty much put full trailers over while I talk into a similar mic to this, not quite as high tech, but I would talk into that mic, and I was so insecure that I would go into Audacity first, and this probably these videos probably would take longer to do than my new style of videos, even though they're much less quality.
Yeah.
Just because I would go in, I would write the scripts out pretty much fully, so there was no improvisation at all, and I would literally edit out breaths in Audacity, where I was so insecure and I didn't want people like getting bored and stuff, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But you don't need to edit out
that's like
every time you breathe before you speak. And I dabbled in video content. There was a film. I'm quite into the film YouTube scene at the moment, and there was a YouTuber called Rhino Tool who did like a it was kind of like a game show, and I played along, and I was.
Is that the Rotten Tomatoes?
That's the Rotten Rotten or Fresh series, and I played along to a couple of those episodes. Another, I actually managed to get a collab, and I had about 12 subscribers. She really didn't have to do it. It was this lovely woman called Rachel's Review. She did about I think this was series 10 or 11 was out at this point, and she was doing reviews. So, I think it was 10 because I suggested, will you watch the Chris Chibnall it? Will you watch? My first proposal to her was, will you watch a Doctor Who series and then review it with me, and we'll do all them all? And she was like, no, that's way too much time. I've got 1,000 subscribers, you got 12. Off. So then I was like, which really, if it was me, I wouldn't do it.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah.
But then I came to her and went, right, this is before the Chris Chibnall era. Will you watch every episode that Chris Chibnall has written for Doctor Who before, which was about 5?
Okay. And
then review them. And I think she was probably happy to do that to get an insight into Chris Chibnall era, and she agreed to do that, and we did that. So those were my and thank you, Rachel. She didn't really have to do that, but she was lovely.
Shout out.
That went well. I mean, this is on his channel, so she'll probably never come across this. But that was brilliant of her, and she never had to do that. And but those were kind of like my first forays into video. I think I ended up using Zoom back. I know Zoom's become a big thing now because of lockdown, but that was actually over Zoom.
Okay.
And then I think there was a kind of a little transition period where I hadn't uploaded anything, but it was San Diego Comic-Con last year, and I was like, right, I can create a video. And it's awful because I've got like my fringe down, the video quality's awful, I've got my old phone, which I was using at the time, and I was just like, about 2 4-minute videos. I don't think I even reviewed Saturday, the biggest day of Comic-Con, but I did Thursday, I did Friday, about 4-minute videos just recapping them, and it was like, I didn't feel it so insecure about the breaths because they felt natural. And that was always one of my big weird things for some reason.
Breaths.
Yeah. And then it was one of those easy things where it's like, doing a video takes a little bit of editing, but not as much. And also, it's that more personal touch I felt with my old channel. I know I'm rambling on about this a bit. But I felt that old videos that are still up. I think I privated a couple of them because they're awful. But it's a lot more personal touch. And I feel like the humour works better if you can see my face. I'm allowed to just be more naturally me. This is the most, at the moment, I think I've been doing it for about 2-3 months now, and fair enough, I'm not saying I'm successful, like I've got 29 subscribers, but I'm getting...
You get views.
I'm getting more views than I ever got. Like, I would upload an old Nerdy Brit style video, and 5 views would be a great video. Yeah,
but now you're getting like...
Now I think I've got 3, I think I've uploaded about 20 videos, and 3 of them are past 100, and a 4th one is about to.
Yeah, and that's
fantastic. And I think that's a great thing about YouTube, is that I think I've always wanted to do it, and therefore it's one of those things where it's like, when you see your videos be successful like I have now, that's such a motivation.
Like if you're uploading and it was like, oh yeah, then getting 5 views in 3 months, you're like, well, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, there's a few of my videos that haven't done as well, and I'm like, like videos you think are going to be like, you make videos think that was such a good video, that's going to be brilliant, they don't do well, but then there's the opposite. Like, you make a video, you thought, that was terrible. Like my Hamilton one, I reacted to Illegal Hamilton, and I thought that was such a bad video. It's just me watching Hamilton for a bit, and it's the best performing video on my channel, so I don't understand.
My highest viewing Doctor Who video on my channel is literally where I go, worst Doctor Who series. It's not that it was a bad concept, but it was I would have probably refilmed it in the position I am now. Okay. But that got think it's nearly 140 views, and that might not sound large in the big
but
context but that's it's sometimes the videos that like don't click. Sometimes you don't think click will they do well on the algorithm.
You've kind of touched on this, but I want to know why. So sort of you went off YouTube and then you sort of came back this year. What was it that sort of made you go, yeah, I want to redo it? Like I want to come back and sort of you rebranded the channel. What was it that made you go, yeah, I'm gonna do it again?
Well, having a friend to talk about YouTube with you is a big thing.
A few months before you, didn't I? Oh, I started mine before you restarted.
Yeah, you started mine before my restart. And
at that point, I didn't know you had one. I didn't know you'd ever done YouTube.
It's one of those things that was about motivation. I was again getting about 5 views, and it was like I stuck with it at the start because I thought it could improve.
Yeah.
And it never did, mainly because one of the things I've learned is that at the start of YouTube, you gain a following because of you and your content, and then you need to then reinvest money-wise. If you start making money for better equipment, you need to analyse your analytics and work on it. The reason why I stopped was because I lost motivation and I just wasn't enjoying it because I wasn't getting the views. But I didn't deserve any views back then.
Well, that's... Yeah, like you've got to look at your analytics, see what are people searching to find videos, put that in descriptions.
Audience retention is like especially on like the videos that do quite well. Where is it that you lost watch time?
Yeah.
I think it was like on my Hamilton songs ranked video. As soon as I announce the number one, as soon as I announce One Last Time wins
they go off.
About half of I think I have about 40% of people there still left, which I'm quite happy about by that stage.
Yeah.
But then it goes down to 20% after that, which is like so it's about having them invested enough by that point, and then also working. Okay, how can I make it more interesting in the lead up to the announcement of number one for people to stay with it? And
you said about putting money in once you've earned money, but it's also like you've got to put money in before you've earned. So like I've bought, so I know you've bought it as well. So we've spent money on the editing software. I've got 2 mics. I've ordered lights that are taking forever to arrive. So it's like it's a difficult thing. You want to put money in, but then if you put money in and nothing happens, you're like, well, I've just wasted 50 quid on equipment and nothing's.
It's about a compromise. Like you had a camera, already. I had a new phone. I bought that phone kind of because one of the things I wanted was a good camera. And while when I make money from YouTube, one of the first things I probably buy in a camera is a camera. I actually think it's really important that you try not to spend too much money when you start because I love making videos. I'm an arrogant person. I love like sometimes editing is a bit boring. But I love speaking to a camera. So you don't spend too much money until you know you love it. I'd even say try and do it as free as possible.
Well, I wouldn't have a camera if it wasn't for my brother who already had it and didn't use it. So he was like, I've got a camera, I don't use it, do you want it? Otherwise I would have used, and I still use my phone for some videos now. But it's like, that was a 20 quid, like it's not, but once.
Like I paid about £5 for the intro I use, and it's like do that because I have an alright money. I think it was coming to the end of the month. It's like I'm not running out of money in my current account. I'm fine for my savings account. Put a little bit back in the channel because then that's the sort of thing where it's like you do your funny introduction.
It looks professional.
You do your 5-second intro, and the people that have stayed with you for the first 20 seconds, those sorts of, like a professional intro, convinces them to stay for the first 2 minutes.
And it's very hard to get an intro without paying. Like I did all I could. So there must be a way to get an intro without having to pay. You really can't. So I've got you have spoken about people that you used to watch, like gaming people. You said about the film. I've got inspiration. So who did you watch that made you go, I really... Is there anyone apart from the people you've mentioned that you watched and thought, I really want to do that? Not necessarily the same content, but even just watching people make videos and go, yeah, that's... So I've got a few names that I've watched, and I thought
I've got quite a few. I'll keep it to the highlights because I have lots of quite a few inspirations. I think Super Carlin Brothers were a big one, but not only that. I think recently it's a shame he stopped doing it. I'm not sure if it's ever coming back, but I turned away from Super Carlin Brothers a bit, but I continued watching Jonathan Carlin vlogs because that was one of the things where it went. You've got to make interesting content, but you've got to be an interesting person. Yeah. And he can literally be going to the gym or doing something, and I cared about the person through his content. I was also interested to see him. That's why at some point, while I will probably continue making the style of content I make for a long time, if I can, I would probably also like to do different styles of content where it's just more about me.
Yeah, I want to do vlogs, but obviously you can't do vlogs unless you're doing something interesting. So I look at people that are daily vloggers, like say Alfie Days, who does it pretty much every other day now. He's got an interesting life as it is, because he does brand deals, he lives in a big house, he's got all that sort of stuff. But when you're like us, like say if we went to like Thorpe Park for a weekend, I would probably vlog that. Yeah. So like that is different content and it's something interesting.
But then I go to work at my local I won't reveal what supermarket it is, but I work at an English supermarket chain. That is not an interesting vlog.
No. It's the same thing where I work at like an amusement park. That's not exciting. You don't want to see me doing that. But you talk about like Super Carlin Brothers for me definitely were a big no, I don't do that content, but like them, and there's people like Seamus Gorman. I used to watch.
Seamus Gorman. I am loving. Seamus Gorman is still watching. I am loving his Disney sequels videos.
It's brilliant.
They're brilliant.
And there's also people that sort of I didn't watch when I started or didn't watch as much, but now sort of keep me going. People like Will and E, especially like him, Kieran, James Marriott, all those. Like I watch them and think, I will keep doing this because maybe
Will and E is very good. There's a couple of more inspirations in terms for my content. I mean, none of you have heard of this, but there's a channel called BHL Hudson who has about 30-40k subscribers. He's grown pretty consistently the last year. He probably uploads about once every other week, but he makes slightly more edited versions of what I was trying to do
pre-reboot.
Pre-reboot. Okay. So that was a big inspiration for that one, and I still like him like his personality. Some of the way he managed to inject personality into his videos I quite like. And then there's a YouTuber called Sean Chandler who's just pretty much a straight up movie reviewer. But I love the way he puts passion into things that could be seen as mundane. He also gives very good YouTube tips. He's very consistent in giving thumbnail tips, analytics tips, content creation and video idea tips. All of those. And also he's just a really lovely guy. He does vlogs occasionally as well, which are interesting. So he's one of the more modern inspirations for me.
So that's YouTube. What about, so obviously we're doing a sort of podcast. Are there any podcasts that you listen to? Because I know I listen to them and I think, I'd love to do that. You're just chatting with your mates, sort
of. I wish there was more consistency with co-hosts, but jaackmate's Happy Hour. And jaackmate as a YouTuber.
I forgot to mention jaackmate, but...
Pretty good. jaackmate is a podcaster.
I love the Happy Hour. Yes, the hosts have been very inconsistent, although Stevie's managed to stay out there.
Stevie stayed. What's the Doody?
Jordan? Doody Rhino, yeah.
I think Doody. I don't know where he's gone. Ever since the post-lockdown comeback, he hasn't been on. I really enjoyed him.
They just fell out. They put on their Twitter. He said basically me and him just sort of fell out over something minor. We've made up now, but we just don't want to. We said it'd be better if we don't work together because we're good mates anyway. And sometimes when you work with them, you just sort of.
Which I think is a shame. I'm kind of glad when they got rid of Alex from the early podcast.
They have said Jordan will be coming back and doing like the urban legend stuff that he does, and I love those. Some of my favourite episodes. But yeah, him. I'm disappointed in Popcorn Culture because that's Super Carlin Brothers, but it's quite a.
I haven't listened to a single episode because I will watch the occasional Super Carlin Brothers video. I found their content got a bit in your face. It got very too much. Because occasionally I'll do this where you go close to the camera, you make a joke, but like it became too much for me.
But the podcast, so you haven't listened. The podcast is. They said they were going to. It was a place for them to expand on their theories. They have not mentioned a theory it's literally just them talking about random stuff, and it's a bit like it's. I will listen to the episode just because if I'm doing a job at home and I need something in the background, it's good background noise, but it's nothing like if I'm editing. But I wouldn't sit and like jaackmate Happy Hour. I will listen to because you need to listen to it when they're interviewing people. But yeah,
there's one more podcast I'll mention, and it's only because, and I wish it was a weekly thing. I know it could never be. David Tennant.
Oh, how could we forget David Tennant?
David Tennant does a podcast with.
That's coming back, isn't it? Series.
I have listened. I think we've had 3 episodes of series.
Series whatever.
2. The one thing that worries me is, I think he did series 1. It was over a year. I reckon he genuinely wasn't going to bring it back. I think he only brought it back because of lockdown. I'd be surprised if we get any more after this series.
Yeah, it's so good though.
David Tennant is one of those actors. He's got a great insight into acting. I mean, we are both performing arts students. We'd like to go into acting. He's got a great insight into acting. He has other actors on quite a lot, which is good insight into acting. And not only is he a great interviewer, he has one of those. He's like True Geordie, which I don't listen to that podcast now, but that's another podcast I'll give a shout out to.
It's good.
David Tennant and True Geordie are both interviewers where they are very good at, without making a guest feel uncomfortable, they are very good at getting a good story, getting good things out of them. And not only that, but especially when David is talking with, not so much when he's talking to politicians and different things, but when he's talking to other actors, he is very good at digging stories out of them and then being able to relate to them, add to them, and change perspectives. And I need more of the David Tennant podcast because it's a very good podcast.
It's very good. You said about True Geordie. I like some of his, like, if you've seen those Christmas, he did like a Christmas one.
Well,
I think with Willoughby, Alex, Jack, and Stephen Tries.
Yeah, Stephen Tries.
They got drunk, and that's not.
If we're talking about content, Stephen Tries is so funny.
He is hysterical. There was another. Chris MD. I quite like Chris MD. I don't know if you've watched him.
I think Chris MD went through a bit of a phase where it got boring. Now I think he made a joke in his recent video where it was like, I've turned into a health channel almost. Like, you kind of have, but
it's good. It's still...
You're a likeable person. You're making funny, interesting videos. Yeah. I probably won't automatically click on it, but...
If it came up my recommendation,
if a Chris MD is in the watch later, I'll watch it.
I don't know how we haven't mentioned these when we talk about YouTubers, but the sidemen. So they don't inspire me as much, like...
I definitely got into making YouTube videos before I'd probably heard of KSI.
So my older brother has always loved the sidemen, and I've always said no, they're not my kind of like content. I've only started watching them within the past half year.
I think I think I've watched them throughout the past. I think for me actually it was probably be surprised to hear that it was actually Ethan's weight loss.
Was it
that got me into it? I think I saw a Bazinga weight loss video. I think I was getting into the scene of like popular UK YouTubers as the second diss track trend was happening. Yeah. So you've got a lot of it focuses around KSI, where it's like Randolph and Deji and Quedeca and Dax do some KSI ones, and then Deji and KSI have some beef. That was at the point in time where I think I was like, I'd started to watch some of the UK scene for a month.
Okay. Yeah. I was going to say something there and it came out of my head. We'll move on from sort of YouTube and head to sort of what we do on our channel, so sort of fandom content. Okay. So things like Doctor Who, Marvel. So of like the main ones, so you've got Marvel, Doctor Who, Harry Potter, Disney, Star Wars, all that. What do you think is your main, like, not necessarily on your channel, but one you are most a fan of?
I think, surprisingly, I've only done one MCU video. I think having over a year without MCU content has made it not so much in my eye all the time, but I'm a massive MCU fan by heart. I'm a massive Doctor Who fan by heart. I wouldn't say all my life I've been a musical theatre fan, but I'm getting into it and very quickly, and especially my Hamilton stuff is that because Doctor Who and Hamilton mainly have been the two things that I've done on my channel.
Yes.
And then
the most successful things you've done.
Those are the most successfully done. So I think my first 2 Hamilton videos did well. So I've tried to make more.
Yeah.
And then the third one flopped, but the fourth one did well.
Yeah.
And then Doctor Who I've always loved. Superhero content in general. I like.
Yeah.
Being mean to DC. I'm not a DC fan at heart, so I try not to be biased. I try to like I genuinely didn't like Aquaman. I genuinely didn't like Justice League.
That's not because they're DC. It's just
I think Wonder Woman was a pretty good film, and then it fell apart in the third act. Like,
yeah, I agree with that actually.
It's just because the MCU is so good, and people are MCU fanboys, but I have MCU films that I would classify as bad, and but that then doesn't then lose me the right to criticise a DC film because I'm a so-called Marvel fanboy.
Yeah. Okay. So you probably see like shelves of how much they can see, but I'm quite the fan of Harry Potter. Harry Potter, I think, is probably my main one. Probably that and Disney.
Yes.
Again, you can't see in the shop, but I've got Toy Story and I've got like Luna and Cogsworth. So for me,
I would like certainly more Pixar focused videos. I would love to do, but I made one of my favourite videos, which is a Toy Story 5 pitch, and it flopped.
That was a good video. I liked that video.
And that demotivated me a bit on Pixar front.
I'm the same with you, musical theatre. I didn't get into it as early as I would have liked to. Like, there's people that are theatre kids and like grow up around it. I really only started getting into it.
I loved acting as a kid. I was always usually a lead or one of the leads in most plays we would do. I'd love to hear what your introduction to musical theatre was. The only musical theatre I really had around me as a kid was a recording of Philip Schofield's version of Joseph.
Okay, so I liked acting, so sort of from quite young, like when we did plays at school, I was always like, oh, I'll do it, I'll up for that. I was always like, I can't sing, so I'm not even going to try. I in my head, like, I can't sing, but it was because I'd never tried. Yeah. And no one had ever taught me, so in my head, I was like, oh, I can't sing then. Yeah. And then it was sort of School of Rock era, so me and you were in School of Rock together.
School of Rock was a big one.
And that was when I sort of was introduced properly to music. I'd heard about things like Joseph and I'd heard about Hairspray, but I didn't know what they were. The closest I got was pantomimes. And that was my closest relation to musical on stage. And then we did School of Rock, and I was sort of like, yeah, this is good, I like this. And then people in that cast introduced it, oh, have you listened to this? No, listen. And from there, I just sort of went. And then I started doing it at college. I did performing arts with you at college. And I remember my first singing lesson, I was like, I can't. Our singing teacher was like, oh, so we're going to do it sing. I was like, oh, I can't sing. She was like, no, you can. I was like, no, I can't sing. And we had singing lessons. And I think did you see yourself as much as a singer until we got to...
I wasn't amazing as a kid. I did some competitions just for like the sake of like a holiday or something. I think I did like a talent show and I actually like singing. Yeah. I was just like and it went all right. And I actually sang at a couple of scout jamborees. And then I think I lost confidence. You kind of presume that if you don't like sing properly for about 2 or 3 years, you feel like you lose that ability. Yeah. Like I remember I had a song in School of Rock. And like that I was part of, and it was almost like I didn't try to sing it well. I just tried. I always like tried to sing it casually. Like I was afraid that if I tried to sing it well, it would come across weird. And then I think it was at the moment where I sang Edelweiss in year 2 in front of everyone, and I was shaking. I was visibly shaking.
But it was amazing, like you.
But it worked out, and it sounded well, and I had positive feedback, and that was the moment where it was like, yeah, I could probably have a one-on-one singing teacher. I could probably work with her and probably have an all right baritone.
So that was me. Obviously when I did panto in our first year, I was the dame.
You don't have to sing well for the dame.
I got thrown into it, and I remember it was me and the person who was also playing the dame, and we were at the front, and the singing teacher was like, "So we're going to do your song is Money, Money, Money." And even now, so I'm singing as a woman. But still, I was like, well, I can't sing. Should I just go for it? And it was that point on, I was like, okay, so I can if I sing in character, I can kind of get away with it. I mean, that's like, if I want to go into it, I need to get away from that. But it's like that, and then when I sang again, it was in Made in Dagenham, which is a musical we did, and I played a old 52-year-old Prime Minister.
Again, that's character.
It was in character. So I've never sang publicly out of character, which I think that's something I need to do. But like, I've sang like in ensemble work as myself, but as like solo, I haven't sung publicly. Even when we did the thing in year 2, I did "You'll Be Back" from Hamilton. Yeah. As like over the top British King George. So I think I need to sort of try and get away from that.
Little story about that pantomime that he was talking about.
Okay.
So I was Abanazar in that pantomime.
Yeah, how was your singing in that, James?
So our director, I won't say it just because
you know who you are.
Her daughter could be watching this. And basically, that was a very irritating situation for me, where I was single cast in a quite a pressured situation. I feel, and what happened with my song was the singing teacher refused to teach it to me. There were lyrics, but they weren't the same as the actual lyrics, and then she decided she got confused, and there weren't really lyrics anymore. And then it was like we were in a rehearsal one day. She was like
a full-on rehearsal.
Okay, we're doing all the tracks there, and I was like, well, no, I don't know what we're doing. And then she's like, oh, it's all right, just improvise. And me being like, I didn't really know what I was doing.
This was first year, like the first.
It was
big
first
thing
year.
you've
I
done.
was slightly more mature, but also I literally otherwise would have stood there in silence. So I was just literally there, just like. Song plays, I think it was like, so I feel so good to be bad, and I was just there with the instrumental, just going. And she was pissed.
She just cut the song.
She just said we could cut the song. No, I think she was like, she offered me to go through it with me a couple of times, and I was just like, I also said I personally think I think. A pantomime villain song should never be your first scene with that villain. And I thought it just flowed better. Again, I was slightly scared of singing at that point, so I said no. But overall, I wish I'd had more support with that, but then I didn't handle that situation brilliantly.
So we talked on Hamilton, how sort of I sang the song for Hamilton, we both like it. You've done a lot of videos on the channel. I made my illegal Hamilton video. And I got a comment on it this morning, so I think it wasn't on here this morning. And someone said, I would get the exact comment up, but I'm not going to do that. I don't know who it was.
Effort on the Fandom Master channel.
Well, my phone's recording, so I can't really get that out, can I? And they said something like, I basically said, in one of them, Jefferson and Madison were played by women. So I made a comment, I don't think Jefferson and Madison should be played by women, because it's a non-fiction story, it's a true story about history. The Founding Fathers, they weren't women, therefore I don't think they should be played by women. I just wanted to get your...
What did the comments say?
She was like, oh, yeah, but the reason they weren't women is disgusting. I think we need to represent them. I was like, yeah, but if this was a fiction... She was basically saying, yeah, they can be played by women, that's fine. But I was like, if this was a fictional story, I wouldn't care as much. Like, say Dear Evan Hansen, suddenly they're like, oh, Evan's going to be a girl. I'd be like, I'm annoyed, but fine. But in a true story, I'm a bit like...
Hamilton is an odd case because the musical was built on giving diversity to a very white story. It wasn't like there aren't female characters in the story of Hamilton. We added, there are 4 because Peggy and
Scarlet Sisters, and then Mariah Reynolds.
There are 4 female characters in there. The ensemble is...
You've got the Bullet, which is obviously quite a big...
The Bullet is the most major ensemble member, I'd say. And overall, they made a story of colour, but then they didn't need to also... Like, I don't...
No. This was like a high school performance, so it wasn't like
a
big
I don't think it's as deep in a high school performance.
But I don't think this should ever be done professionally.
But I think you have hit on a deeper issue where it's... Okay, we are fighting for a world of equality, and I don't want to talk from my point of privilege, but if you go and say, right, we're going to do Hamilton, but we're going to have a white James Madison, and Hercules Mulligan, and I genuinely don't know what the reaction to that would be.
I got on here, should they be played by the colour and gender to match the original Broadway cast? Like, that was the second sort of part of this. Should the colour and gender match?
It's really tough because, and again, it's hard to speak from my position of privilege, but it's, at the end of the day, I would love equality.
Yes.
I would love, and yes, have, it's tough when shows with all black casts would be completely encouraged and would probably stick around a long time. But a show with an all white cast,
you get like it would be like fair enough. Classic shows, you can probably still get away with them, but these days you introduced a show with an all white cast. That's not a good thing.
And it's about managing to tell lots of different stories, but also, when fighting for a world of equality, we are, because for me, I think, if you want to go back to the example of Hamilton, gender is gender. There are male roles, there are female roles. The point of Hamilton was if the point of Hamilton is to tell America now, America then told by America now, I'm not saying there has to be white people, but
there are white people in America.
If that is the legitimate message, then not necessarily saying every character should be white or we should have a balance of black and white, but I think you should be allowed to have a white cast member.
Yeah, because I don't think so every main character from Hamilton, the actual historical figure was white. Like Bert was white. Mulligan was like, so it doesn't. I think it should just be based on talent. Like, if you are talented enough to bring the role of Bert to life,
talent to a certain extent, because I think a lot of the times you can let, even in terms of like a job interview, to something like a casting process. Sometimes talent can be used as a scapegoat for a white person being hired into an office. Like sometimes you have an all-white office and go, they're all the best person for the job. Yeah, yes, you might have 6 white males and a white female, but are you? Are you then? It's race, gender, sexuality. They're all very difficult questions, because there's always two sides to the coin. There's always so you're telling me, so we're fighting for equality, I'm hiring the best person for the job. But then you can also say, well, what are you saying? The white person is better for the position all the time?
It's things that I don't think, like, say you're at a casting or like you're at audition for Hamilton, the casting director should not be like, because people say equality, so should he be like, we've already got 3 white people, so we need to balance that out with some black. That's obviously not what you want. So it's really difficult to get the balance between equality and just casting the right people in the right roles, sort of thing.
And it's also tough in a. It's not a revival, but like transferring from Broadway to the West End. Like, you look at the West End cast and you go, yep, that Mulligan looks similar to the Broadway Mulligan. That Lafayette looks
similar.
Quite similar. Even the Burr, the Hamilton.
Yeah, they all look
quite similar, because they are in some ways trying to replicate and make. Because the idea of it is, if you are an English person listening to the American broadcast, like cast recording, you want not exactly the exact same experience, but you want the same. You want a similar experience to what you listen to.
But does that mean, so are you saying like, so Bert always needs to be played by a black man and Mulligan always needs to be played?
Not in my opinion, but then you'd be worried of, is that your privileged white opinion that you feel you need to put some white into our quite diverse musical? But then I could argue it's not particularly diverse.
We sort of got away from gender, but you say, so if people are like, that's fine, Madison and Jefferson, they can be women, it's fine.
In a high school production,
but
doesn't matter.
But say, like, it came back to, or did a tour, a UK tour, and Madison, or let's say Jefferson and Lafayette were played by a woman, people, don't think that would get as much uproar And when you say it, it sounds stupid. Like, say a male actor played Eliza. That would be ridiculous.
Exactly.
People go, why that you can't do that? Like, people would get so offended if a male actor played one of the Schuyler sisters.
I think it's one of those things where it's like, write musicals with, going back to diversity, diverse cast, write musicals with different genders, write musicals with different sexualities. It comes to a point where if you change things to make things more diverse, you do, in ways, affect the actual product. Because theatre is supposed to immerse you into the world. If you suddenly go, is that Lawrence played by a girl? Like, you...
It just ruins it, doesn't it? You're like...
It doesn't ruin it. It's a distraction.
It takes you out of the world.
You need to be immersed into the world.
Okay, I think it's a good place to leave for sort of all the musical talk. I am going to check that it's still recording, because if we've done all that and it's got recording...
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Let's just hope it is. We're still going. 41 minutes.
I mean, this has been incredible.
So, we're changing it up a bit more. That was quite a deep sort of political... We
can either get called out in the comments, agreed on... I think with that, I know we said we'd move on, but I think... Bearing in mind, this will get about 5 views.
If that. I mean, get 5.
If that.
Probably only like 30-second view watch time anyway. Like, I'm not expecting this to...
If... I hope in that segment we've tried to create a balanced viewpoint, looking at it not only from two sides of our own coin, but looking how people from different minorities could perceive what we're saying and what they would think.
Generally, if you comment down below, and me and you will
I'll probably be looking at those comments.
And we will both sort of come from our own different viewpoints. So moving on to something a bit more light-hearted, Disney's live-action Mulan is releasing on Disney+. First of all, let's discuss the film, why there's no songs and no Mushu. What are your opinions on that? They want to make it a more martial arts film.
Do you know...
The Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man? The more I think about this, the more I'm okay with it.
I actually agree.
Because when I first thought about it, bearing in mind this is probably about a year and a half ago when they went, there's going to be none of it.
Yeah, and we were like, ooh.
And it was like, well, no, that's what made the original Mulan good.
Yeah.
But then the more I've thought, and especially after The Lion King.
Yes.
And also, to a certain extent, rewatching the new Beauty and the Beast, I've kind of gone, I'm not watching these to see a copy and pasted version of a non-2D version of this film. I want a new take, and we have the fun, cutesy anime. Like please include as many orchestral versions of these songs as you can.
Well, they've already said they're going to have like the score will still be like Make a Man Out of You, Reflection.
Because like the orchestral version of Reflections they used in one of the trailers.
It's perfect.
Was fantastic.
Yeah,
like
do that.
Please use those. But overall, my thoughts are kind of like, I want to see a new take on this film and to take it more seriously and look at the themes more and just tell a story about this woman and her struggles and focus less on the silliness of the songs.
Well, for me, it's like
works.
It's a remake. It's not a shot. I don't want a shot-for-shot remake. I'll just watch the original if I want that. Lion King was exactly, literally, pretty much a shot-for-shot remake. I was like, well, I don't want that. That's not a remake. That's just look, we've got better animation now.
That's why I quite enjoyed Aladdin.
Yeah,
I thought Aladdin was quite new, fun, and different. The casting is updating things a bit. Jafar was awful.
I've said that in my video. Go and watch it. I used to say which genie's the best. But no, but Jafar, he was like, oh, in my youth. I was like, well, that was like 5 years ago. You're like 20. Like, and it's a bit of a shame. But do you think Mushu not being included is a problem? Or
Mushu is the
little dragon, Eddie Murphy, the dragon.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. So they
also don't know how that sort of character would work in
live action. No,
there's going to be 3D.
They're going for live action. They want a more realistic take on it. Fine. A little talking dragon would not be. I don't think it'd fit. I think it'd look out of place.
This is a new film. I want to see a new take.
Now the main. I don't know if you know about this, but they're pay per view.
It's something like 20-30 quid, isn't it?
They want $30. I don't know what that is in pounds, but they want 30.
I think it's even 30 quid here.
So they want 30 quid to watch Mulan on Disney Plus. That's more expensive than a single cinema ticket.
Well, I think the idea is because during lockdown there was I think it was like Trolls World, like the second Trolls. What they did with that is they said, right, we're completely skipping theatres. We're doing a digital release. I think it was like 20 quid for 48-hour rental.
Okay.
And that did well.
Right.
Because that is a very family-centric film.
Yeah.
If you think about it, what the studios have gone is, for a family film, you sell at least tickets, usually more like 4, 5, because the parents come.
Yeah.
So it is actually slightly cheaper.
So 30 quid. Theoretically, if I bought that, I'm not going to buy it.
30 quid isn't for you to see
if I buy it for everyone with that account to watch it.
What I think if you have 3 accounts across one Disney Plus subscription, I think you all get it.
Yeah, but like,
or you can skip the
very easily. Yeah, if I buy it on my account, I'm logged on downstairs in 2 places, up here on my brother's phone. So I suppose you're paying for everyone, so like 5 tickets to watch the film, which is, I suppose actually would be.
I know why they've done it. It's because New York, LA is still cinema closed, I think.
Yeah, America's really been hard hit with this.
I think actually, geographically, a large portion of America is pretty much like the UK.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the big places, because New York, I think, was the worst hit city in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, what I would suggest they do, especially in countries where cinemas are open, is like... So, Bill and Ted 3, I actually quite like the first Bill and Ted.
I'm excited for Bill and Ted 3.
They're doing streaming and cinema. You can get streaming wherever, but streaming is mainly for places where cinemas aren't open. And then you can also, if you want a cinema trip, go to see the cinema. And even like Tenet, the new Christopher Nolan film, what they've done is, right, we're giving it to places in the world that have access to cinemas. It can come to America and any other place in the world if they're still on lockdown. And I think whatever gets... If Mulan is in UK cinemas, I will see it. I am not paying...
No. Have you got Disney Plus?
I've got Disney Plus, but it doesn't... The idea of premium access appeals to families when you have people that just want to see a film or see it with a friend or a couple of friends. Because they pay for their own ticket, it doesn't then appeal to them to spend 30... Like, I'll just wait, give them 6 months, they'll put it on for free.
I'll just wait. They've already said they're going to put it on for free after a bit, but they want to... fine, do that, but I'm going to wait.
But if you put... Disney, if you're watching this...
Bob Iger.
Bob Iger's just like, alright, okay. But, like, if you put it in cinemas, I'm excited for it, I will watch it.
I will watch it on release day if it goes to cinemas.
I actually think for some people, 30 quid to watch it from their home, as many times... Because remember, some kids like to watch, like, the same film every other day.
I used to watch Lion King all the time. Apparently, when my big brother went to nursery, my dad had to put on Lion King repeat for the whole day, and I'd just sit there and watch it over and over again.
So when you've got 30 quid for a film that you can keep until it's on Disney Plus for free, that makes sense for some families. However... that is catering for that audience, and you have a lot of people who would happily see it in cinemas, but will not pay 30 quid for it.
No, I think.
And then you also lose out on any, by putting on Disney Plus straight away, even when it's free, you lose on any digital rentals you might have got, any DVD sales.
No, I see that. Okay. So we're going to go on one of my favourite podcasts, Jackmate's Happy Hour. I don't know how much you've watched. Do you watch them?
I wouldn't say I watch like every episode, but I really do like it.
Okay, so the segment...
anytime a YouTube clip comes on, I will always watch the YouTube clip. Cool. And then sometimes, if I need a podcast, I'll listen to it.
Okay, so something he doesn't know a lot is called hypothetical questions. Okay. I don't know if you've heard him do them before.
A couple of times,
Yeah, so I've just got some. So I thought we'll go through some hypothetical questions. So if you don't know what a hypothetical question is, it's basically a question where it will never happen, but it's sort of like, it gets into your headspace, sort of gets you to think, in this very unlikely scenario,
what's happening in this messed up head?
Yeah, so we're going to find out. So would you rather forget who you are or who everyone else is? Start off with a bit of it. This one's going to get really deep now. So basically, it's, would you rather people have to help you remember who you are, or everyone just...
Are you ever going to gain your memory back?
What, if you don't know who you are?
Yeah.
You rely, it's forever, you have to rely on people jogging your memory, like literally telling you this is what happened.
I would rather it happen to me.
Well, you'd rather lose your memory?
Wait, so do you lose the memory of other people, or do they forget you?
So it's either you don't know who you are, or everyone else doesn't. So it's either you don't know who you are, but you know who everyone else is, or the other way around. So you'd be sat here, you don't know who I am.
I think I'd pick me. I'd pick me to lose my stuff.
What, and trust everyone else
because if I know who I can truly trust, I know who actually who can help me through it, who can get me back to something of who I was.
It'd be horrible to like walking around and no one actually knowing who you are. You're like, it's me.
Because you'd have to like convince them.
Yeah. Like if you went to like, say you went to your parents, you're like, I'm your son. They'll be like, you don't have a son? You're like, no.
It's just a non-starter, isn't it? You have to move somewhere, start a completely new life.
Yeah, you don't.
There'd be no point of you maintaining your memories of other people because you would lose those relationships.
Yeah, you'd have more work for yourself if you stayed here, not knowing everyone else, not knowing who you are, and just move like to London when no one knows you anyway.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, I'll give you that. This one I've got a like surefire answer for. If you could learn any one skill in the world immediately without trying, what would you learn? So you're immediately like a master at this skill.
Is it something you can learn or something you can change?
What do you mean?
Because, like, I don't know, I'd probably pick something like singing or dance because if I could sing and dance, I'd love to be able to do musical theatre. Like, dance is probably something you could say. I think singing is something, it does depend on your natural voice to a certain extent.
Let's say, whatever skill you choose, nothing stands in your way. So if you say singing, you'll immediately be able to sing, like, top level.
I would pick singing because I feel like I could then, if I was a good singer, and I think I'm an alright actor, I would then have the motivation to learn to dance. Yeah,
for me there's two things. Singing is definitely because I love musicals and I'd love to go into musical theatre. The other is piano. So I would love to be fluently...
Musical instrument was one of the first things that came to mind.
I've got a piano downstairs. I've got like it's my great-granddad's old piano. And it just sits there and I'm like, I'd love to just be able to sit and play this. So I think piano for me would have to be... How could it be? Just like... Because I think piano is one of the coolest instruments.
I don't know. There might be something about like a guitar.
Yeah, so like guitar's quite cool, isn't it?
More
like
rocky, maybe.
You just electric guitar.
Do 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 do.
Wow.
It's like the Rocky theme. We love that.
If a zombie plague were to start right now, where would you go and like hide out?
I would end it. I can't be arsed. Which depends.
That's not the question.
Are they fast or slow zombies? Can that stay in?
Yeah, we'll keep it.
Good, right.
I can't bother to edit this. Going straight up. We'll go up tonight. I might literally take off my phone and upload it tonight. I'm not editing it.
Good.
No, killing yourself is not an option. You have to go and hide out somewhere.
Are they fast or slow zombies?
We'll say they're traditional, sort of slow, hobbling along.
I would go to my own garden shed to get a couple of like implements.
Yeah, you say so. That's like that. We go to like get pitchforks and spades and records work quite well.
Go to the Winchester, have a nice cold pipe. I go to the Regency, have a nice. Because to be fair,
Tom would be a bit of a.
To be fair, if I'm going for my, I probably can't be asked to live. I quite like. I'd quite like to just be iconic and just go live out Shaun of the Dead.
Genuinely, if your life depended on it, you go to the Regency.
Because let's face it, if I'm in a zombie apocalypse, I'm probably already dead.
See, for me, there's like two. Like, if I'm going to do that lifestyle, I would do that. I'd just go to like.
I just take the piss.
Go to Regency, just sort of, live while you can. If genuinely, like, you had to try and survive somewhere, I don't know what it's called, but you know the little island just off of like
steep
hole
or flat phone.
Yeah, I'd go to one of them.
Are we all right revealing we live in Weston-super-Mare? Is that
People don't know I live in Weston.
That's vague enough, isn't it, for security reasons?
Weston's like Weston.
Yeah, but Weston.
So I would go there.
Yeah.
Because that's like in the middle of the can zombies swim? Swim for them?
So you just go on an island and live out?
Well, take stuff. I got a tent. Take a tent. Get like all the tins we can, non-perishable food.
What little like?
I've got loads of camping stuff. Get all the camping stuff down.
What, and then just you'd have to.
We've got canoes in the last.
You'd have to eventually work out how to farm. You'd have to go somewhere you can farm because
long term.
Eventually.
Well, I've never been to Steve. I don't know what it's like.
Yeah, because you'd have to pretty much live on fruit and veg.
Yeah, I'm a vegan. Great.
Protein.
Can we diss vegans on a podcast?
Vegans?
Oh no, this is going to go on my channel.
How can you not like cheese?
I was going to say chicken. Chicken's a god.
Eggs, bacon.
I'm having katsu curry for tea. I'm so excited.
Little katsu curry.
Katsu curry.
Little katsu curry.
Katsu curry.
God, very nice.
Yeah. Right. Final one. If you could be one age forever, what age would you choose? So you never age from this. You're immortal, but you have to choose one age to be.
Now we're going to go into my existential crisis.
Oh dear.
Because,
that's right.
You know...
No one's listening anymore. We're like an hour in, no one will be listening.
It's one of those genuine things where like parents say, oh, like, when you're 7, don't wish that you were older. Because, like...
I wouldn't choose to be 7.
Well,
That's like
that sort of
getting
thing.
old sucks sort of thing. It's like,
no, I really want to grow old and be different. And now I hate my life. And it's like, it depends. If I grow up to be like a famous actor, like I'd like 30 years old, like I'm the Doctor.
Yeah.
Like I'd live out being 30. But
I would pick 25 to 30 because by then you can do. I want to be at an age where I can do everything. Like you can't drink in America until you're 21, so there's no point in saying I'll stick as 18. So I'd say between 25 and 30 because then you can do everything. So probably I might go 25. Is there anything you can't do at 25?
I'd go 26 just so I'm older than you.
Is there anything you can't do at 25? That you can do everything, right?
You can't be the patriarch of the family.
I can't be the Pope. Great.
Bollocks.
I really wanted to be the Pope.
I'm not Catholic, but I really wanted to be the Pope.
That's going to be the title of the podcast. I'm not Catholic, but I really want to be the Pope. That is going to be the title.
It's getting no views.
I'm going to put your face onto the pipe as a thumbnail. Yeah, that's all the notes I've got. Is there anything you want to talk about? I mean, that's all the notes. I'm going to close it, so we're done. That's all good.
Right. That's the prepped part of the podcast.
Yeah. Is there anything?
We've been talking for a while, but
we're probably at like an hour. But if there's anything you sort of wanted to mildly discuss, we can always do that. I'll let you have that. I've interviewed you for the entire.
Going back to the first bit. So, are there any We've kind of talked about inspirations. Because I talked about my channel for like a while, and it's like developments and it's ups and downs. I mean, you've been going for a lot less. I mean, do you have any secret channels or?
I don't. I never did. No, I it's something I've always wanted to do. Like even since I remember being in like year 8 and thinking, oh, it'd be so cool to have a YouTube channel. And originally I was like, I wanted to do gaming because that was like quite a big thing back then. I was like, I'd love to do YouTube gaming, and it never happened. I don't know why it never happened. I just don't think I ever got round to it. And it was actually the reason I started was because at the start of lockdown, as quite a few people did, I went to each of my family members and sort of said, I'm bored. Give me something. I want each of you to give me a challenge to do by the end of lockdown. So I was like, fine. My brothers, I think, was you got to do like 20 keepy uppies in a row. I've done that because I'm not very athletic. My mum's was learn to juggle, which I can now do. Go me. My dad's was learn to ride my unicycle that I've had in my shed for about 5 years. Still can't do that one either. Getting close though. And then my little brother was like, well, why don't you start a YouTube channel? Do you want him to do that? So I want you to start a YouTube channel and like consistently upload. I was like, you know what then? Maybe I will. And it started as such like a not military procedure, but I used to do it. So if you go back and watch like my welcome to the channel video.
That's what I'm gonna say. How has your channel over the 3-4 months, maybe even 5 at this point?
I think for about 5 months.
Well,
it's however long we've been in lockdown for.
Yeah, probably about 5 months. How has your channel grown and developed? What have you changed? What styles of content do you not make anymore? What do you do different? And talk about your upload schedule.
Well, I sort of started, when I first started, it was literally me sat behind where you are now with nothing on that wall at all.
I think I had a look on your channel. Is your intro, like your original introduction, still up?
Am I welcome to the channel?
Yeah. I didn't think I spotted it. Yeah.
But yeah, so it was me literally sat there with nothing. It was a beige wall. I think those Lego things might have been
something up.
Yeah, and it was literally me just talking. And I remember I got so I would sit so uptight. I wouldn't move. My face wouldn't move. And I go watch them now, and I'm like, oh dear, come on. And I'm a performing arts student, so I'm usually quite confident on that thing, but it's so different. You don't realise how different it is being in front of a camera as opposed to being on stage.
It's one of those things where it's fine. I think I watched it vaguely recently, and it was very much like
mine.
Yeah, it wasn't monotone, but it was like the opposite. It was like, and I am going to try to create inflections in my voice so I perceive myself as interesting.
Yeah,
and that's how I think a lot of young actors start out, where they
over sort of
where this is acting. This is I need to start inflecting every single bit.
Yeah, sort of sat. Yeah, so it was me sat there. I had this table, but it was like a beigey, horrible colour, and I just spoke about rubbish. And then I started thinking, what can I do to make different content? I've got quite a lot of Lego. I have more Lego than I do now because I sell quite a lot. I was like, oh, do a Lego review. I enjoyed doing them at the start, and then I was like, it's getting a bit boring now. So I sort of stopped. I don't do them anymore. I thought I will do them if the set is good. Like before, I thought I want to do a review on every set I've got. And some sets there's just not anything to talk about. These Hogwarts bits. There's 4 sets that make up Hogwarts.
Yeah.
I want to do a 4-part series. Reviewing each one.
Do that
because they are interesting. They're so intricate. You've got plenty of meaning. That is a thing I want to do. And then I started sort of not caring is not the word, but I started to. You probably know it's it's not about not caring. It's about being more relaxed.
Uploading for the sake of it, almost.
Well, I used to try and do. I used to do daily uploads for the first. I think it was the first month or so. I used to upload daily.
It was almost like sometimes there was it was like, I can squeeze a video out of this. There probably isn't really that much to say. And actually, it was like, I think there was one early one for you where it was like, and feel free to say any of mine that you've done that you would think similar, but it was almost like, it was like the Harry Potter audio bits, and it was like,
that didn't need to be a video,
and that video was almost like, Harry Potter audio books exist. I've listened to a couple of chapters. Like and subscribe. Yeah.
And it gets to the point there doesn't need to be a video in that at all. Sorry, I'm just getting up my channel and your channel to see what's going on. But yeah, it's that didn't need to be a video. But that's the problem. I want to find a way to get out videos short, because short form videos do not work on YouTube.
No,
and I feel like there must be a platform where I can.
YouTube doesn't push.
No,
videos.
That video could have been 3 minutes. The Harry Potter, because I wanted to. If there's something I want to talk about, I will make a video on it because I want to talk about it. But I wish there was somewhere, if I go back, you can see even the thumbnails were here,
thumbnails,
I think good. And there it is, that one. Yeah. It's a 1 minute video. That's what's that?
Let's go through some of your content, and no one's watching at this point, so we can just go through your content.
They used to be really short. I didn't really get until. I didn't really get until
Lego review. Your Lego reviews work.
What, the set reviews or
the set reviews are fun for their audience.
Yeah, but that's the thing. There's a completely different. Look, these are 65, 40. They do all right.
Then the What's in the Box ones were quite fun.
They do all right.
That Mario one was
Mario.
That Mario one was all right because
the Lego one.
You clearly saw it.
Yeah.
You had an opinion on it. You made a video.
I'm doing the second part on that, so you're not going to buy one of the sets.
That one was good. That one was more.
That one.
That's. I think I did a Chris Braxton video recently. It was kind of
return to. Yeah.
And it was my main focus when going into that video was kind of this is a more newsy style video. I need to actually have an opinion on this.
Yeah.
I need to be able to.
These are the mystery box openings. Just
that video. I hate because you say it's a good theory, and I hate theories.
But now I don't. But now I'm not.
But for context, that was an Aladdin video where the theory is Aladdin didn't happen, and I hate theories like that.
Like the Harry Potter. Oh, he just dreamt it up.
Yeah.
See, like,
because those theories are just.
It ruins it.
Oh, this didn't actually happen. This story doesn't matter,
and it ruins it. It's like then what? Like someone saying, "Oh yeah, Harry dreamt it up." So you're just making all the books and films mute. It don't matter.
What does it add to the live action Aladdin to say that Will Smith told that story to his kids? I don't.
Yeah. Like videos like this, like obviously hating things gets views. So the one reason I hate Pixar, I was pretty proud of that thumbnail.
That's a nice thumbnail. It's a good video.
Disneyland rides, like things about Disneyland do well. And Disney for me does alright.
I haven't made very good Disney.
I have not done. I started Minecraft. I haven't done it anymore because I don't really want to.
This is the stage where I think you're getting to the end of your tether on your daily uploads, because I think
if you look, they're all
something
really,
like that. I think the intro for that one is always iconic.
Is that the Bonjour?
I think that's the Bonjour Hello, but I think it's this stage where it's like you're making daily videos, but you don't have
the streams were fun.
Idea.
I enjoyed the streams actually.
Are you getting back to the streams or?
I might do at some point. They were fun to do. Again, 2 hour stream. I thought that was fun. I had a few people in there. You were in there, weren't you?
I was in.
Josh Clay turned up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. They're all again like Lego reviews do well for their audience, but then they don't watch any other videos.
No, that's what I'm worried about with my musical theatre videos. Is that I have people that click subscribe for the Hamilton one. Or even literally, they subscribe because it's Hamilton. They see Shrek the Musical, or they see MCU or Doctor Who, and go, "All right, it's not for me."
Yeah, that's the same. Like,
why does Doctor Who come up for my subscription?
When was the last time I did a Lego review? Apart from,
it's been a while.
So it was 2 months ago, and I did that set. Just again because the Privet Drive set is one of my favourite sets I own. That's why I did it, but I haven't done one since. The Morgs videos do bang, just because people like making fun of people.
Mamma Mia ones were fun.
Mamma Mia ones were alright actually, but yeah, so they do. I fell off my chair. That was interesting, but they do. Should we go on to the nerdy Brit for a bit?
Yeah, we can talk through however much of it nerdy Brit you want.
There he is, this guy. So we're gonna start. But yeah, so my channel, I think I just sort of got more relaxed and thought I don't need to care. I feel bad saying I don't need to care as much, but I don't.
You don't need to be as uptight and scripted.
No, I don't. No, I don't script any of my videos.
No.
The most I will do is bullet points, and I rarely do that.
I think when I'm doing a ranking, I will pre-rank them.
That's the thing with tier lists. I don't do them tier lists because I just have a look and think, yeah, okay. So should we go back?
How far?
Oh, this is like, was this before you? Yeah, so it's here that you started, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So 2 months. Seems like we doing it for way longer than 2 months.
I think that's on the end of 2 months.
Or is that? Oh, okay. So what do you want to?
Well, I guess I can talk. I can talk you through the reboot.
Yeah.
So the first welcome to the channel video.
Yes.
Was probably filmed about 4 months ago.
Well, you filmed it and then you just... Oh, because you said you wanted to backlog videos, so you have
I was probably
going
to backlog videos. That went well, kids.
Did you not?
No, I have no videos apart from anything we filmed today in the pipeline. I've got ideas.
Yeah.
I just need to do a bit of... Okay. I need to do a personal filming session really as well.
Yes.
It's clearly the first like 7 or 8 videos. I clearly have some videos that I can either only do a bit of prep for or go into it.
Yeah. Like
pretty much no prep. Like the worst Pixar film is literally me going through a list of Pixar films and going, right, I'm gonna delete that because that's clearly not the worst.
Okay.
And that sort, I think that's still got my old intro on it, and that's when it. And for some reason,
is that the Marvel one, or is that what old intro do you mean? You had the Marvel one, didn't you?
It's not really Marvel. It's got like a couple of Marvel-y clips, and it's got like loads like different like, film clips in it
with the Marvel music.
With the Marvel music,
and that gets claimed every. I assume that got
claimed
every video.
That hasn't got claimed for any of my old videos.
Really?
But I think now I think if I put it in for any longer than I did, it would get claimed. Yeah. I think it's the time it got played. But now presumably they've taken away, so it's like it can get claimed if you play it for less time.
How many like copyright claims have you got now on your channel? Do you know?
A lot of my
Or
old
in your
videos,
reboot?
because they get like...
Is it trailers, I assume?
The only copyright claim I have
Yeah.
is on the worst Pixar film.
Really? I've got 3, I think.
I think the one I was slightly worried about is the Toy Story 5 pitch when I had some BBC Apprentice clips.
Yeah.
And the BBC before, as soon as I play more than like 5 continuous seconds of them, the BBC get very aggy.
228 views there, James.
I mean, we can go... What might be fun is for both channels going on most popular and talking through those.
How do we...
They just go up to the top and then sort by.
Oh.
Most popular. This is two Hamilton videos.
Doctor Who. This is such a good video.
That technically has more views. It hasn't updated to go third yet. That's
so, yeah,
the thing. That's three out of the 4 Hamilton videos I have made are my most popular videos.
Can I do a draft? Right. Yes, it goes Hamilton.
So your Hamilton,
and then it's welcome to the channel. How's my one?
To be fair, I think I've probably given that about 20 views, because if I'm ever like, right, I'm a bit bored, I'm sure we give Fraser some watch time. That's the first one I can go. Just 30 seconds. I can just.
I'm surprised that one got. Was it 3 minutes long? I can't believe they used to do like 1 minute. That. You've got to get past 10-minute mark, James.
You've got to get past 10-minute mark. It's more setting up a backlog for the future where as content gets views, you're still able to have mid-rolls and get monetization.
That's why I'm trying to get 10 minutes.
You want a library of things that you can monetize for the future.
So, do you ever like purposely like put stuff in to get past 10 minutes that you didn't originally want to put in? Bit of behind the scenes here.
It takes it to be a 9-minute video for me to put it up to 10 minutes, and that's never really happened.
Do to put in? Like
I think I've only ever extended a video once or twice when it's been literally about 9. I think it's only happened once. I think it was like 9 minutes 50, and technically it's happened twice. The first time it was like 9 minutes 50. I'll put a couple of outtakes, get it to 10 minutes.
Outtakes are really good to sort of.
The second time, I think it was like I was worried I'd have about an 8-9 minute video and asked you to film something for it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that pushed it over.
Yeah. So I've gone to date artist oldest. So yeah, so it was basically that's what you're talking about when you said.
That's the one. That's literally just copyrighted music.
So yeah, so you've got like it's a lot of trailers.
Right. This is something I would.
I am Groot.
This is one of the things, I don't know, I can't remember if I did this anywhere else. I think I probably did it in that one as well, but I watched this one recently. Yeah? That is literally, that one, because I know I've watched it, that is a little introduction, and I just put the teaser and the trailer in there, uncut, without any reaction. I was literally just like,
so you just put the trailer?
No, there's so it's literally, I introduced the video.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it yet, here's the teaser.
Oh.
If you haven't seen it yet, here's the trailer. About a minute's worth of bland thoughts. Done.
And that's it. Wow. Okay.
And I think I did the same with the Spider-Man Homecoming one.
Jeez. Top 5. I need to go back and watch some of these older videos because I haven't. There we go. So that was 2 years ago. It's still only your third. Is what, 4th?
I think it was technically 4th now.
But the other one still, or was it 3rd and the other one hasn't updated yet?
Yes.
Right, I think we're done it. I don't think we can. Is there anything you want to talk about?
I think that's
covered everything there, haven't we?
So, if anyone has made it to the end, thoughts on this? Was
I will be shocked if anyone's got more than a minute.
Were there any we genuinely like some feedback. Were there any extended bits that were dull? Do we? I think we were definitely our more serious selves here. We talked about a lot.
This was.
So, did we need to be more
light-hearted,
funny and jokey? Because we've just been like, I think it was one of the things where we had a conversation when we were like, we should just talk about things that like we could do a podcast on, and then we almost did a podcast episode without recording it. And that was a lot more.
We talked about stupid stuff.
We probably had like a drink by then, but we were like,
well, maybe solution. There we go then.
But we just talked about random stuff, and we were slightly more funny with it. And
I think, but if you have watched this far, which well done, you haven't. But if anyone has, would you be? This is not going to happen.
This far out of interest.
This is not going to happen anytime soon. But would you, at some point, if we get a following, be interested in a podcast? Because I've enjoyed it. I don't know about you. This has been brilliant. But we've been going probably about an hour and 20 minutes by now.
Wouldn't be surprised.
40 minutes last time I checked. But yeah, so if you do like it, let us know. If no one's watching. No one watched.
I'm not gonna swear, but yeah.
Go and check them out at Zoe on Nerdy Brit channel. There'll be a card up there, and they'll be in the description. And you can go watch some of the videos we talked about.
Exactly.
Get those old videos up.
Get some of my old videos up. Get some of his old videos up. Be a blast.
And I'll see you whenever I upload. When will that be? Don't know. My upload schedule is all over the place.
You have an upload schedule.
No. I say I do, but I don't. Originally it was Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That didn't happen. It's been whenever I feel like it.
I wanted to upload every other day, and then now I upload whenever I have a finished video.
It's effort. Right. Goodbye.
Toodle pip.
Don't say toodle pip.
Toodle pep.
You Tory.